everybody. I know a lot of y'all asked about me yesterday, and I really do appreciate it. Hi, welcome to JOA. If new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload. I do have a clip in the beginning, and as well, I do have a clip in the middle of this video, so I appreciate if you do watch the whole thing. If you're new to my channel, I post daily videos. I also ask icebreaker questions, and the icebreaker question to this video is, how are you doing? That's what I still want to know. Like, how are you doing? I don't want to hear how you are doing by the media through reports and facts. I want to hear it personally from you, because a lot of things that go on in media is not really true. I want to hear from my viewers personally. How are you doing with this whole pandemic, financially, personally? Are you struggling? Are you homeless? I had one person that said they were homeless, which I was like, that struck a nerve, because I know how that feels. And so I want to know how you're doing. So as well as I am also on Patreon, patreon.com/JOA. I have 32,000 subscribers. I'm asking for less than 2%, 1.5% of you guys to sign up to Patreon. Minimum is $5. I mean, I would appreciate $10 or more. That means a lot as well. But minimum $5, a latte at Starbucks. Give up one latte for a month at Starbucks. And so you get perks with that. You get ad-free content. You get giveaway perks as well. I'm going to do a giveaway. You get exclusive footage about an interview that I have coming out, or other interviews that I would be having coming out as well. And so I'm also thinking about coming up with some type of gift package or something that I could send to like a prize giveaway. And as well, I do live in an interesting city, New Orleans. A lot of you guys are interested in traveling in New Orleans and the culture and just the food and whatnot. So patreon.com/JOA. I'd appreciate it if you do sign up and you do support me in this channel. You guys want me to come on daily, and that's just another way for me to feel comfortable with pursuing this full time. So I want you guys to watch this clip, and I'll come back with some more.
What did you think of his interview?
I also think, Nick Cannon is a Howard-educated man who was married to Mariah Carey and is, I assume, traveled the world. So clearly education and traveling didn't stop him from his bigotry towards Jewish people. And his statements were really egregious when it first came out. And he has apologized. And now he's actually talking about the Hebrew concept of teshuvah, which my understanding of it is it means not only forgiveness, but it means if you're confronted with a similar situation, you won't repeat your actions. Like if you return to the scene of the crime, you wouldn't commit the murder again. So he's clearly doing real work with Jewish leaders and trying to atone, as we both said. I think my concern is, for some reason, anti-Semitism is something we let people forgive a lot easier than any other forms of bigotry and racism. When we are having conversations about canceling Dr. Seuss, we're not having conversations about canceling The Merchant of Venice or Oliver Twist, both works of literature that have deeply anti-Semitic characters in them. I find that people who say anti-Semitic things are forgiven just a lot easier than anything else. And I think that's something we really need to examine as a society. I think that anti-Semitism is still sort of the last form of passable bigotry in America. We are now seeing a rise in, I believe it was 12,000 more hate crimes against Jewish people last year. The ADL, in their audit system of anti-Semitism, said that there's a 12% increase in the past year. This is a big and serious problem, and I hope Nick Cannon continues to good work. This isn't just about Nick Cannon. It's why, as we as Americans seem to find more forgiveness in our heart for anti-Semitism than we do of racism of any other kind of race in this country.
So I touched on this whole Nick Cannon situation yesterday on my live stream. He made some disparaging remarks, against the Jewish community. And I personally felt that he meant what he said, because, he is African American, and I'm sure he comes from, through his ancestors, descendants of slavery. And I do believe people can change. Joy Behar did mention that it's not your job to educate a racist person. It's their job to travel the world and educate themselves. And I think that was a dig toward Sharon Osbourne, because when Sharon Osbourne at the talk told Cheryl Underwood at the talk to educate me, when you are a multimillionaire, you should be educating yourself. I do think that traveling and going places it does take away the stereotype and the disease that you are raised from your parents or your guardians that raised you, their perception of the African American, Palestinians, whatever. And this also does remind me of a couple that I did watch on YouTube. You know, just like 1 or 2 times, they have two black girls. Biologically, that's the mom, kids, and the stepdad is the white man. They're the McClure twins, and she married. I think she's a Nigerian, I believe, African woman, Nigerian, I believe, but she married some white guy from Georgia who had those perceptions of black people. I'm assuming based on watching their video of them discussing about that. He was from the country town of Georgia, and him traveling and him, you know, just going out of his roots just changed his perception of African Americans and black people. Now, I think people can change over time, just like people views about the LGBT community can change. I believe in growth, but I also believe that people can fall in line with the mainstream media and who's really at the hierarchy of it all when it comes to money and how you can get canceled. And I said this before and I say it again, you can either be a Monique or you can be a Steve Harvey and fall in line with who signs your checks, if you get my drift. So that's how I feel about that. And so Meghan McCain got dragged. She got dragged. So we're going to get into that. So Meghan McCain got dragged because the Daily Beast, who is her former employer, they obviously despise Meghan McCain. They highly dislike the woman. And for your former employer, a Daily Beast that Meghan McCain wrote for as a blogger in the past, to highly dislike her, makes the rumors and they're not rumors to me, but they're rumors to you guys. It makes the stories about her behind the scenes really true. And it just validates that even more. If your former employer is continuously writing bad stuff about you, come on, because I mean, it's obvious. And she went off on them multiple times at Daily Beast. So there's a video out there of Meghan McCain defending Donald Trump, of course, saying that it's okay that if he wants to call COVID the China virus. So I want you guys to, you know, just watch this and I'll come back with some more.
There were a bunch of Chinese doctors that were sounding the alarm on this virus, and the Chinese government, or, you know, lack of the government, was trying to suppress them, and they were trying to give out warnings. I actually have a friend whose brother was in China, and the lack of information, they don't have access to social media. I agree with you that I think if the left wants to focus on PC labeling this virus, it is a great way to get Trump reelected. I don't have a problem with people calling it whatever they want. It's a deadly virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it. And I think that China, had they acted right away and we had more access to information, maybe it wouldn't have gotten to the place that it is. That doesn't mean that we should be, you know, in any way.
We shouldn't be pointing fingers at people.
I'm pointing fingers at China.
But we shouldn't stereotype it.
I'm fine, happy.
You know,
but we also need information from China.
No,
by the way, we as Americans have the luxury no, but we have the luxury right now to be arguing about verbiage versus like people that are actually dying and on ventilators in other countries.
What about the Chinese Americans that get targeted because people start calling it the Chinese
this is the point.
Virus, right?
Yes. First of all, anyone who thinks, I tweeted about this days ago because a woman I follow on Twitter named Jenny Han, her sister was the recipient. I know you can't hear me. I can see that you can't hear me, Whoopi, but she was the recipient of some racial targeting. Obviously, anyone that knows anything about me knows that I wouldn't be a proponent of that. But I do think the idea that we're just going to let China off the hook, and what you were saying, Dan, there is a lot of misinformation. They are using social media to target Americans to try and spread misinformation about our military and about our media. And the idea that I'm just going to let China get away with it and get off the hook, there's a lot of anger about our reliance on the Chinese government right now and our reliance on China in so many ways. And by the way, that messaging from President Trump and his messaging from the very beginning that we need to remove our trade from China is going to be very effective going into 2020.
But you cannot let China get away with it.
But you cannot.
I can't tell who's yelling at me right now.
The same thing that he did. No one's yelling. I'm just trying to make sure you can hear me. I'm simply saying the same way he came in saying Mexicans and rapists are coming here to get Americans is the same stuff he's doing. It was effective, but it was not correct, is the point. And if any Asian person who is getting hit, as we've seen in the last few weeks, because someone thinks that they are walking around with it, you can't, as the person who's leading the country, you can't lead with that. You got to be better.
So I was doing further research before, I got on here, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but what Trump said was actually true. There were conspiracies allocated in China about about the military, being responsible for this whole COVID situation. But you know what? I don't care if he's right with his commentary. I personally don't care because, it came out that he called the military suckers and losers. And number two, this commentary of him just indicating the conspiracies that's going on in China, it may be true, but during that time, Trump knew about the how horrible this COVID situation can be because the Bob Woodward tapes already occurred. They weren't out in the public, but he knew about it. He knew about how this COVID could be more strenuous than the actual flu. So I don't care if he was right in that video. I don't forgive him. The fact that he knew about this COVID situation before he even touched the United States 100%. Really says a lot about his leadership, really says a lot about his capability of handling himself during a catastrophic time to millions of people, to billions of people. You signed up for this job, and you got voted for this job. So we expect you as American citizens, as the American people, for you as a president to be able to hold your grift and prove to us that you are capable of doing this. And he failed us. So he knew about this. So that's really all I have to say about that. And of course, Meghan McCain is going to agree that he can call this whatever it was. The Trump administration politicized COVID. They politicized masks. They're still politicizing things. His supporters and people that support him with vaccines and stuff, which is really the feeling of how I felt and how I still feel till this day, even though he's gone, because I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid as hell about vaccines because it was politicized. From the CDC director to Donald Trump to everybody, it was politicized, and I for one don't know who to trust anymore when it comes to the medical community, when it comes to the leadership we have now and the leadership quote unquote now that we had in the Trump administration. So, and Meghan McCain is a white woman. She comes from a golden spoon. Her father denounced MLK holiday and Obamacare, and he of course did backtrack with his words about MLK and stuff like that. But still, you have to realize Meghan McCain comes from that. So for her to even justify this situation, I don't care if what Trump said was true about the China conspiracy. This rhetoric that he has, verbiage, as she called it in the video, can carry weight, and it has carried weight with the masks, with the vaccines. It can carry weight to the average Americans who struggle to pay their bills, and so it can definitely carry weight to racial profiling amongst the Asian communities. And for one, white America, hell, everybody can learn from the Asian community because they are all about cultural values. They're all about education. They are great doctors. They are great scientists. Their cultural values really correlate to their success. And there is a reason why most Asian Americans do well in the system, because they are about cultural values and about the education and about studying and about succeeding. And while they don't have a voice in the racial disparities that they do face as people of color, because they are people of color, they find a way. And that's through education. That's through the pen. That's through having a business. And so that's through medicine, whatever, So hats off to you if you are an Asian American that's watching this. I appreciate you. I love your culture. I love your people. Baby, I love your food, okay? This is the reason why I'm like this. Love your food, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate your culture. And I've always been interested and still interested about, the Chinese, Korean, Japanese culture and everything. All I know is ni hao, taikin, shay shay, handriye daseyo. That's Korean. I'm not saying you're right. So, I appreciate the culture overall. and just be careful out there. But anyways, y'all, please do sign up for patreon.com/JOA. Let me know in the comments below about my icebreaker question. How are you personally doing? No, I'm not begging for money. Okay, if you don't want to do it, keep your comments to yourself. Actually, comment. I don't care. But the people that have supported me, I have 20 patrons so far, and I sincerely do appreciate that. Deuces. I may do a live tonight. I may not. I don't know. We're going to see. Okay, so be on your phone, or your tablet or your laptop. Yay!